let's check number 6 and 8 and see how you did. So this one is different. The equals is here in the on this side, and I'm hoping that you notice that the two terms with p's in them were both on the right, so you need to combine those. Did anybody minus 4 first? Is their first step? No one in the whole room minus 4 for their first step? No, like first. You did, it's totally okay to do that first. If that's what your brain wants to do, you totally can. I always combine first, but that's just me. Okay, so -6 equals p minus 3p is -2p plus 4. Then minus 4 from both sides. And then divide. And I got 5. And if you minus 4 first, you should still get 5. All right, number 8. What should we undo first? What do you want to undo first? What's your instincts tell you to undo first? There's no right or wrong answer here. Yeah. 7? Okay. So plus 7n. Okay, now right here, this is an opinion question. I have an opinion question to ask you. Do you write -1n or do you write -n? -n, they're both correct. It just kind of depends on what you like. I'm asking for a reason, so just hold on a second. Okay, so I have -n minus 6, and then I'm going to add 6. Okay. Now, what do you do in this situation? Well, it's almost by itself. It's -n. So I have to do one more little thing. Now, you can probably recognize, most of you, that you could just get rid of the negatives on both. But what do you guys usually do? Yeah, divide by -1 on both sides. That's what I usually do. Divide by -1, divide by -1, and I cross out that negative with the -1. And then remember, a negative divided by negative is a positive. So 4 equals n. You guys want to add anything to those two? All right. So next, can you guys find last night's homework, please? Find last night's homework. The first question I have is, do you guys know what tonight's homework is? And some of you don't have any because you did all of it already. Okay. So last night's homework is the odd problems. Tonight's homework is the even problems. Now, I can find this in Aries. I can also find it on my stamp sheet right here. So this is what we're doing today. Evaluating functions, digital escape room, and the even problems are tonight's homework. Okay, so what I want to do is show you the answers from the odd problems, just to make sure that we have them correct. So if you guys can correct your odd problems, please. I did not show my work, so what I want you to do is, if you got it wrong and you can't figure out what you did, I want you to mark that so you can ask me a question. So here's the first 3. -3, -1, and 13. Okay. Here's the next three, sorry. Negative 18, negative 4, and negative 5. How are we doing so far? Okay, and then the last two, there's only two more, right? Last two. Negative 56 and 2. Okay, do you want help with any of these? Any of these that you would like me to go over? Yes. 13, let me start with number 7. Okay, number 7. Okay, so PEMDAS says parentheses first. So what I'm going to do is pretend that this is the only problem I'm looking at. And inside I have 3 plus 16, which is 19. Is that part okay so far? Oh, you did?
I already messed it.
What'd you do? Did you do 3 plus 4 first and then squared?
I don't know. Not sure what I did.
Okay. Does anyone else want me to keep going? No? Yes? Okay. So are you okay with the 3 plus 16 part in there? Okay, and then I made that 19, and then I put the 2 minus in the front. Okay, now this part right here is also really tricky. So I want you to ignore the signs for a second. What is 3 divided by 3? 1. Okay, and then these two negatives cancel each other out, so that becomes plus 1. I bet some people probably put minus 1 there and then minus 2. Okay, now what you do is you go left to right. So 2 minus 19 is negative 17, plus 1 is negative 16, minus 2 is negative 18. So 2 minus 19 is negative 17, plus 1 minus 2. Okay, now I'm going to go to number 13, and then I got a request to come back to number 5. Number 13. Okay, first thing I want to say about number 13 is that when you have two letters right next to each other, you multiply them. So I have y, which is negative 5, absolute value. zy means you multiply them. So 2 times negative 5, and then plus negative 6. Okay, so there's my start. Okay, I'm going to do inside the grouping symbols first. So this is negative 10, negative 5, negative 10, plus negative 6. Brandon, how are we doing? How are we doing? Good so far? The times? Okay, I see it. All right, now negative 10, absolute value of that is positive 10. So we want to make that positive. However, do you guys see how the negative 5 is like glued right to the front? That means times. So negative 5 times 10 plus -6, that should be 10. -6. And that makes -50 plus -6, which is -56. Okay, so that number in the front, when it's like just stuck on there, is times. Okay, going back to number 5, you good? Okay. Going back to number 5, yes. Okay. All right, number 5. Parentheses first. So I'm going to ignore everything except for the 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So I have -3, 1 plus 4 times 4. Now, when the -3, just like that other problem, is stuck on the front, that means times. So -3 times 1 plus 4 times 4. So -3 plus 16 is not negative, Mrs. Talbot, is positive 13. Okay, great job, everybody. Everyone clear on what tonight's homework is, the evens of that worksheet. And you guys know that there's a front and a back. Okay, no, not yet. Okay, what I need everyone to do now is get out their Chromebook. And if you don't have your Chromebook, at least maybe the person next to you has their Chromebook. At least one per group would be great. I need you guys to all get out your Chromebook. And I need you to find our classes Google Classroom. It's red, it says integrated math 1 at the top. I'm gonna try to not make that red because that is just harsh on my eyes, but usually I try to put a picture of Squishmallow in there instead. Squishmallows are not harsh on my eyes. Oh, actually, one of my TAs seems to have fallen over. Assistants right there. They're very helpful. Okay, once you guys get to your classes Google Classroom, I want you to find this post right here that says Leanne Talbot posted a new assignment, evaluating functions, digital escape. That is what our classwork is today. And I want you to click on that. And you should get something that looks like this. You click on the evaluating functions, digital escape. Okay. The next step after you find the digital escape is to find the spot in your packet where you're going to show your work for your digital escape. Most people in the class looks like they've already started this thing, but it looks like this: digital escape room work and answer sheet. And you're going to write evaluating functions at the top. So this is your first digital escape. So I need to explain how they work, and I'm going to help you get started on puzzle 1. The first thing you'll notice is that your digital escape is going to ask you to put your name into the blank, and then it's going to ask you to click next. So type your name in the blank. That's for me, so I know that you did it. And then it should take you to this, which is puzzle 1. And I'm gonna help everybody do puzzle 1, just so that you can see what we're doing. And then I'm going to let you work in your groups and or independently, just depending on how you work best to finish the rest of the digital escape in class. Okay, so notice that puzzle 1 actually has 4 problems on it. So what I like to do, I like to take a straight edge, and you don't have to do this, but you're going to learn this about your teacher. I am kind of nerdy, and so I like my stuff to be organized and pretty. I'm going to split the puzzle 1 box up into 4 pieces. Do you have to do that? Is that required? No, not at all. I just like it because I'm a nerd pants. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the screen. And I'm going to say, okay, problem 1 says evaluate f of -5. So at the top, I'm going to write f of -5. Let me show you what my paper looks like. So I wrote in that first box f of -5. Does that make sense to you guys? No? Okay. You see right here in this green box, it says f of -5. So I just wrote that at the top of my box. So I'm looking right. I don't know why the mouse is, okay. I'm looking in that box that's green. It says evaluate f of -5. Don't worry, we haven't started any math yet. We're just setting up our paper. In the second box, I'm going to write what? What am I going to write in the second box? You guys see the blue one? It says, I guess that's blue. G of -12. So I'm going to write G of -12 here. Do you guys see where that came from? Okay. What am I going to write in the third box? H -9. And what am I going to write in the fourth box? F4. Beautiful. Okay. We have not done any math yet. We just wrote the problem down. Okay. Now, next thing you need to know is that there are some functions above, but the F, the G, and the H are their name. I like to call them Frank, Gerald, and Harry. Okay, this one is saying find Frank and plug in a -5. This one's saying find Gerald and plug in a 12. Okay, so let me scroll up the screen. Can you guys find Frank? Frank's right here at the top. He says f of x equals x squared. Do you see the one with the f in the front? Okay, so we're gonna, that one's Frank. So we're gonna plug the -5 into that one. So f of x equals x squared. This is a function machine. So I found the one that said f. Also, this one says f, so you can put Frank here too. And I'm going to take everywhere there's an x, I'm going to put a -5. So that is -5 squared. Okay, what's a negative times a negative? Positive. So 5 times 5 is 0.5. Okay, does it make more sense now what to do? Okay, so now let me help you with the code. The answer for the first problem is 25. Which letter is that in the boxes up here? You guys find the letter is C? Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a C right here for the first letter of your 4-digit code. Okay, now let's do the second one. So the second one is G of -12. Can you guys see Gerald up there? I picked Gerald because of Finding Dory and the sea lion that has the connected eyebrow named Gerald. Anyway, can you guys see Gerald is the green one that has x plus 5? Okay, so write down on your paper, G of x equals x plus 5. Okay. That means that I'm going to take this -12 and I'm going to put it in the spot for x. -12 plus 5 is -7. Okay, take a look at your Chromebook and tell me which letter of the code is -7. Yes. I? I is in like igloo? Okay. Are we getting more comfortable with the process here? Hopefully. Does it make sense that you do the problems and then you get the code? Okay, let's see if we can find Harry. Can you guys tell me what function Harry is? 4 times x. So Harry is 4x up here, the purple one. So I'm going to take the -9 and put it in the x spot. And remember what we talked about earlier, when they're right next to each other, that means multiplication. What letter is that one? E. And then the last one is H. Okay, now there's a note on your on the page on the Chromebook that says type in the 4-digit code, all caps, no spaces. So you're gonna type in CIEH, all caps, no spaces between, and that will unlock puzzle 2. Okay. I want you guys to work in your groups as best you can. You can actually break up the work. I'm not even going to be upset about that because a lot of these are kind of repetitive. So you might say, I'll do puzzle 1, you do puzzle 2, you do puzzle 3, you do puzzle 4, and help each other. If you're an absolutely independent worker, that's okay. You can work independently too. That's all right with me. I'm going to be walking around helping you, making sure that you're getting it correct. Okay, next thing, or one more thing, really quick. This is a challenging thing for everyone. At the very end, you're gonna finish it, but you actually have to submit it on Google Classroom. You actually have to there's a little button that says turn in or like submit now. You have to actually remember to do that. I'm going to check your paper for your work, but I'm also asking that you make sure to submit it at the end. Okay, so I'm gonna walk around and help you guys. So, do you know what the classwork is today? Finishing this. Do you know what the homework is tonight? Evens. Working.